We did it. I did it. They saw my video. IGN and Rebel Wolves saw my video. I knew those 4 views on my last upload were all devs. I knew it, or it had to be like the directors or something. As soon as I hit upload on that video yesterday, what do I see on my feed? Another IGN gameplay demonstration of Blood of the Dawnwalker. So, we're gonna watch it. Yeah, I don't know where you thought that was gonna go. I'm just gonna react to it. That's really all I got. Yes, the Blood of the Dawnwalker hands-on preview. IGN first, uploaded 12 hours ago. Okay, let's go. Sorry, I can't see. Vrakiri Banneret.
Polish developer Rebel Wolves has worn a confident face since it first revealed the Blood of Dawnwalker early last year. The blood-soaked reveal trailer featured a gorgeously grisly cutscene, an unmistakably Slavic score, and a snapshot of a sprawling medieval open world.
That looks fire, I can't lie. Kind of, maybe because I'm playing Bloodborne right now, but it does remind me of like, maybe not quite Canehurst Castle or whatever it's called, but just, you know, I can see it.
Crafted by many of the minds behind The Witcher 3, everything we've seen since has effectively proclaimed that this new vampire RPG intends to fight in the same leagues as CD Projekt Red's best. My recent visit to Rebel Wolves...
Again, like I said in my last video, it doesn't have to do that though. I think because of all the similarities between the games and how, you know, obviously the leaders from CD Projekt Red came over here to work on this game. I think because of all that, people are just trying to hold it to that standard. It doesn't have to achieve that to be a success.
Was something of a proving ground then. Until now, all access to the Blood of Dawnwalker had been hands-off. But for this IGN first demonstration, I'd be playing for 4 hours straight, beginning with selecting Start New Game from the main menu. 240 minutes later, my long-held feelings were mostly confirmed. The Blood of Dawnwalker has plenty of that Witcher magic, but it fuels something with its own equally interesting identity.
We need to get back home. Father will be worried.
Father's already
Ooh, okay.
By starting from the game's very beginning, the first 3 hours of this demo covered much of the same ground.
Oh, is this some of the beginning footage?
As my previous hands-off preview. Protagonist Cohen lives a small-town life in the Carpathian Valley of Vale Sangora, an area ruled by vampires who have freed the people from plague and taxes in exchange for a monthly blood tithe. The next is due tonight, and Dawnwalker's approach to time, there's only so much of it, represented by a sort of currency that you spend to push forward quests, means that you can only complete so many objectives before the ominous bloodmass begins. But playing this prologue on my own terms allowed me to explore much more of Cohen's village than I'd seen before, and even rearrange the details of his story. Whatever Rebel Wolves had shown me previously, I did the complete opposite.
I'm really curious to see, like, I can't wait to see the decisions I make, bro, at the end of this game, because I was just thinking, like, what if is it going to get to the point where it's like, you got, like, how do I ask it? It's like, what if you have a big mission you really want to do right before you go over to, you know, find your family, but then you have to, let's say there's like 3 hours left on the clock and you're wondering like, can I get this quest done before it's time for the blood tithe? Like, is it going to be, I wonder how you're gonna know, or are you just not gonna know how long it'll take? You just know it's gonna take time? I'm already getting stressed out.
This began with Gremla, a distraught woman whose cries had been ignored during the hands-off.
The Kenyas will go mad with rage! Rage!
She'd been sewing a tapestry banner in honor of the vampire's leader, Brentsis, and it was due to be displayed at the evening's bloodmass, but it's been stolen. Thus begins what is effectively a tour of the village, introducing a number of characters who would otherwise have blended into the background as you interrogate suspects, cross-examine their statements, and use a focus vision ability to assess footprints and
You tell me that ain't Daryl? Alright.
Trails. As a tutorial quest, it's practically on rails, bouncing you from villager to villager as you narrow down the guilty party. But it's a clear demonstration that, like Geralt before him, Cohen will need to play detective from time to time. And when you find the culprit, it's up to you how to deal with them. The situation is far from obvious, and your choice twists one of the prologue's key events.
Like, I wonder how long a mission like this would take off of the clock.
While the Blood of
Sorry,
Dawnwalker
what?
obvious, and your choice twists one of the prologue's key events. While the Blood of
okay.
Dawnwalker makes no distinction between main and side quests, the prologue does
That's
have
his
one
mom.
storyline that feels more critical. A quest that tasks me to find medicinal herbs for Cohen's sick mother takes me to the House of Anchor, a local witch who appears destined to become one of Dawnwalker's romantic options. While the
Okay.
writing is pretty solid across the whole breadth of this preview demo, the dialogue between Cohen and Anchor is the highlight. There's genuine affection between the two of them, delivered without ever dipping into corniness or obnoxious flirtation. As
Okay.
I dig deeper through the quest's dialogue trees, Anchor makes multiple references to being an old woman.
I like that. This is gonna sound unrelated, but it'll tie in. So I remember I was complaining about Two Blue Vortex. I was complaining about Two Blue Vortex earlier on. I think this is like, I'm not caught up right now, but whatever chapter I around where I left off on, it was well, I don't know if people want to read that, so I just won't say it, but two of the characters, it's very predictable. I'm just gonna say it. It's spoiler alert, it's Sarada, and she's talking about Boruto. But it's just like the way they went about it and the way they wrote it, and like just it was just like in your face, like she loves him, guys, she loves him. And it's like, yeah, it's a shonen, like we understand. To tie it back to this though, I'm glad that it's like this, because that was one of the reasons I like Dandadan, because I just don't like when the love is written like too direct, I guess, and like they just shove it in your face. And I'm glad that it's gonna be like that if what this guy is saying is true. Whoever this guy, I don't even know who this guy is, but whatever he's saying, if it's true, then that's good.
Despite looking no older than 30.
That's what love is. Apparently.
Apparently.
I may be a wise old woman, Cohen.
It's a subtle combination
are
of
you?
both character and world building. Plague and hardship means no one lives long around here, and Anchor's role as the local healer has made her wise beyond her years. A sudden storm forces the two of us inside, and I'm given the option to spend extra time with Anchor by studying her books. I cannot be late for the evening's blood mass, and so I
Yeah, we
only have
can.
the daylight hours to complete Cohen's chores, a period represented by a HUD element split into 8 segments. Most of the prologue's quests consume one segment, but choosing to extend my stay with
Wait, hold on now.
segments. Most of the prologue's quests consume one segment, but choosing to extend my stay with Anchor will effectively double the cost of this task. I was already fascinated by Dawnwalker's time as a resource system, but it's here where I can really see how it will demand interesting choices from us.
I was
Is
just
it worth
wondering that.
spending time that could be utilized elsewhere to deepen my relationship with a paramour? For now, I entertain Cohen's
What's a
awkward
paramour?
infatuation, and even invite Anchor to study some salacious literature with me. Perhaps this means I won't have time for a quest that provides a more significant material reward later on in the day.
Right.
But love never did come without sacrifice. With a
Exactly.
pocket full of herbs and a heart full of butterflies, I leave
you-
Anchor's storm-ravaged hut
Well, you get herbs, you get materials. Can you do alchemy, like make things? I might do that.
and head back home to administer the remedy to Cohen's mother. Completing that task has a significant impact on the prologue. It doesn't exactly branch the
Don't she kind of look like the girl we were just with?
narrative, but the resulting
Hold on
events
now.
in my demo are notably different to what I witnessed in the hands-off. It's all too significant to spoil here, but it seems like Rebel Wolves has found a way to change the story's stakes and Cohen's emotional connection to them without having to totally rewrite the Blood of Dawnwalker's core plot. I suspect some players will perceive this as a bit of narrative trickery that makes no genuine impact. I'll reserve such a judgment until I see how the outcome of this quest ripples through the whole campaign. But for now I feel pretty positive about how the consequences of your actions are handled here. By the prologue's end, Cohen has become the titular Dawnwalker, a man by day and a vampire by night. And with the first elements of his toolset unlocked, I'm thrown into the open world of Vale Sangora. From what I can see, the
I will say, like, I'm a person who says I don't really think trailers matter. At least they don't matter to me as far as like if I get excited for a game. I need to see gameplay, even if it's like the pre-alpha. Like I just need to see gameplay. That being said, watching this is still a step up from what we saw with that other video with the quest demonstration, or like the rock observation course. But yeah, this is at least like, I'm like, oh, like I'm interested, I'm listening, like, so I'm saying like, good job. I'm not even gonna say it. Never mind. Good job to Rebel Wolves for giving us something else.
Valley is large
Well,
without
no, this is all IGN actually. This looks like it's edited by them and shit. So never mind.
threatening to overwhelm. There's a lot of ground to cover, which
Thanks,
you can do so by
IGN.
magically increasing your run speed during the day or by transforming into a wolf when the moon rises. But the world doesn't appear large enough to turn
That's
this
cool.
into a
I've seen
Skyrim
that,
that you'll
though.
be exploring for hundreds of hours over multiple years. The small section of the map
Say again.
transforming into a wolf when the moon rises. But the world doesn't appear large enough to turn this into a Skyrim that you'll be exploring for hundreds of hours over multiple years. The small section of the map
See, and I think that's a good thing. I'm glad, and whoever the hell this guy is, I hope he's right, because I hope that is the case. Like, it's gonna be enough to sink your teeth into for sure, but it doesn't have to be. That's another game that I should have brought up, a Skyrim level game, hundreds of hours, and I don't need all that. I'm not opposed to it if it's good, like I said, but we don't need that.
explored had several activities, but
should've
sadly
compared it to
Rebel Wolves
Skyrim.
didn't provide us with footage of any of them. However, you can read all about what I got up to in the full written preview on IGN.com, which involved fighting this bear and following this luminescent wisp to the scene of a lover's death. Almost all the open world errands involved Dawnwalker's unusual combat system, which is fully directional.
See, I like that though, the directional combat that they have. I heard that there's an omnidirectional option or a traditional option if you don't like the combat system. I mean, do what you want, your gameplay, but as a Kingdom Come fan, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 specifically, I haven't really gotten into 1. I think that's really cool, and I can't wait to I know it's going to be a learning curve though, for sure, like, but I feel like that's like the way the game should be played though, I feel like. So that's another reason, but I'm excited for that though.
Akin to games like
It does look a little stiff sometimes.
For Honor and Kingdom Come Deliverance. When an enemy swings their sword
Exactly.
from the left, you push the right analog stick to move your blade to meet theirs. When your foe guards low, you hoist your weapon above your head and strike downwards. It's a
Yep.
little tricky to master and demands a lot
not
of
really.
concentration. Thankfully, you can effectively break down the system into pieces and graduate through it. By tapping just the block or attack button, Cohen will strike or defend from all angles at the cost of more stamina. You can start there, and when you've become more confident, begin to introduce the directional
We're
elements,
going right into
and
it.
later finally start tapping block at the last second to score some very satisfying perfect parries. When it all comes together, there's a real rhythm to the combat, especially in single opponent duels. But an unexpected blow or an
throw
additional
hands?
assailant
Ooh.
joining the melee could easily knock me out of that rhythm, and the consequences were fatal. It's very difficult to heal
Okay,
mid-battle.
okay.
I was exploring at night, so I had access to my vampire skills, but the neck
Yep.
chomping ability only restores Cohen's health by a fraction, and its cooldown feels like an eternity when you're on the knife edge between life and death. Combine
okay.
this with enemies that all feel like they have health pools 15% too deep, and repeat encounters against
Okay, now that will definitely be something that irritates me if the enemies are too spongy. That gets on my nerves so much. I'm not gonna lie, I hate that. Please don't do that. But it seems like these guys are really paying attention to what's being said about the game and taking the complaints and the negatives into consideration when they're doing their polish. Because I mean, think about it, guys. It's what, July 8th? So what? We have almost 2 more months still. This game, the way they're moving, they seem like they're really taking feedback seriously. So, I mean, they did it with the camera already. The camera angle was a little weird for people. The combat, even though I'm saying it's a little stiff, it is better than how it was originally shown in the older footage, excuse me. So they're definitely listening. So I have faith that they'll, at least based on what I've seen, I'll have faith that they clean that up.
6 or so soldiers at a time, and I found the combat system's strong foundations eventually became arduous. By the end of my hour in the open world, I was feeling fairly burnt out on Dawnwalker's swordplay.
Really?
That's not to say I want to avoid combat entirely. The fundamentals of battle are strong, and while the demo's later encounters felt drawn out, there's every chance that new inventory items and skill unlocks may well balance it all out, and further experience with the system may wash those worries away.
I feel like that's another reason I get annoyed by spongy enemies, because it feels like an artificial way of inflating playtime. I feel like it's like a minor thing that some developers probably do to artificially inflate the playtime, like spongier enemies, more collectibles if you're a completionist. Making they do they'll probably do something like a lot of those quests where it's like someone's walking really slow, but they're talking to you, but you have to follow them, so you can't even sprint, and they just start yapping for like 10 minutes. Like, I feel like all these little things are just ways that they try to artificially inflate the playtime to make their numbers look better. Like, oh, look how much people are playing our game. Look how much they're playing our game. And a lot of times they're not really playing, or they're there because you gave this enemy way too much health. I just feel like it all adds up, and I don't like it.
But even if swordplay remains iffy, well, that was the thorn in The Witcher 3 side, wasn't it? And so it's the quality of the quests, the writing, and that time as a resource structure that interests me the most. And after having experienced it all for myself, I remain confident that the Blood of Dawnwalker is the next RPG worth paying very close attention
You don't
to.
cover his face up or
For
nothing?
more from the Blood of Dawnwalker, check out our exclusive gameplay clip and stick with IGN all the way through July for more on Rebel Wolves' upcoming vampire RPG.
Wait, hold on. Hey. Alright, whatever. Yeah, so I guess, to wrap it up, final thoughts on that. Again, that was way more entertaining than, we don't gotta keep going over it, than the wall simulator, than the wallpaper engine. It's basically what we watched. That was way more interesting. It just, I don't know. I think if I had to say my number one concern for the game, though, I don't really have a main concern. And to be honest, I don't know. Because I think the stiff combat is probably going to be better because they've already improved it. They'll probably improve it more. They got time. They're flying people out. They're taking their feedback. They're a first-time studio, so they got leeway. I don't know. I don't know what my number one concern for them would be. Because again, I'm not expecting Witcher 3 from this studio on their first attempt without a AAA budget. I'm not expecting that. I'm just kind of waiting. I guess here's how I'm looking at it. They're kind of playing with house money. Like, you guys come from a reputable source, a studio who we loved, then we hated, and then they earned our love back. And you guys seem to be listening to the people. You're kind of playing with house money. It's your first studio. We know you don't have a AAA budget, but we know you guys probably have a vision, and you're probably gonna, like, you guys are the leaders. Like, it's not just like they got the devs from CD Projekt Red. They got the leaders, like the people envisioning what, like, writing these, not directly writing it obviously, but like putting these things into motion, putting these visions into motion. So that's a big deal. I wouldn't say it's a bigger deal than the devs, but I mean, at the end of the day, a dev has to do what his boss says, and the boss at the developer studio, they gotta listen to what the publisher says, and who knows what the fuck the publisher might say to them. So, I think that's why I'm looking at it as such a valuable thing, because from like a power standpoint or influence standpoint, as far as the direction of the project, that's a big thing to have multiple leaders from the Wild Hunt over here. And I think also some of the devs too. So anyway, I don't really have a big concern for them. I think they're playing with house money, like I said, bro. Like, if they get a solid B on this game when it comes out, that is a success. That's a win. They're gonna make their money back, and then they can do something bigger. Not bigger necessarily, but maybe better, depending on what the problems end up being. They're gonna be able to make something better, and then it's just up from there. That's all I really got. I'm excited for this game. I can't wait for it to come out. I will be there on day 3. I think it comes out on a Thursday. I work those days, and I have a 3-day weekend, so then, you know what I'm saying? But that's still 2 months away. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I just kicked my desk and shook everything. I'm gonna go edit some videos, and I'm out of here. Peace.